Huh. This is a weird village. I feel like maybe there's going to be a quest here at some point. Because otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on here. I can't go inside any of these houses. Sage. Okay. So what's the deal? Where exactly? Oh, we're also going in the wrong direction. Is any of this carnations, roses? Oh, that's clearly not garlic. You're making potatoes, but no frickin' garlic. That's what I get for cooking in massive batches. Oh, dude. Frick this. Frick this 100%. So I would need to go... Yeah, I need to go over to this hunter's camp. Oh, and everything's picked here anyway. Have you restocked your house yet? No? I robbed you blind and you haven't restocked? You frickin' frick? Alright, let's go ahead and sleep in his bed. Do you sell garlic? I don't... God, you gotta get that. That'll set up. Well rested. Is that an actual status? I didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah, no, he sells archer stuff. Where do I get garlic? This is quite the predicament. Who would have garlic? You know what? Maybe... I think he just sells a bunch of fish, but like... I don't know. Maybe he sells garlic?
Buying anything?
No. Um. Wait.
Buying it?
Did I overlook that, or are those just potatoes? Potatoes, spoiled meat. No garlic. Frick. We do have that ghost quest down here, though, that we can do with Berg.
Bloody hell. Not another ghost. Leave me alone. I swear if you don't leave me alone, I'll kill you. Take this away from me. Don't you know this kind of thing tends to bring bad luck? I don't want to see him again. I went there one evening. Gods only know why. I could feel something odd. Like I had Kendall thrashing around in my head already, calling to me. I've never been a godly man, you know. One time I visited a shrine, and look what that got me. A ghost hovering over my head. I dug around a bit looking for Kendall's remains, and then I heard howling, got scared and ran away. At first, I thought it was a wild animal, or some weird beast. Thinking about it now, I guess it must have been Kendall. He was letting me know he was coming. Damn him.
You went looking for his remains? I brought you his remains. What's the problem here?
All right. I went there. And Kendall didn't say a thing about a burial at sea. All he said was that he won't know peace until he takes me with him to the underworld. I may be old, but I don't want to go there yet. The idea terrifies me. Now I see what he's up to. He's using you to remind me of his threat.
Why would he want to kill you? Makes no sense.
Damn it. We set our friend up. Don't you understand? We traded his life for ours. Tagden told the bandits to take Kendall because he was the commander. Told them he would be a good hostage. And if they let us go, he would tell the captain what had happened. And they just laughed, but I was still hoping they'd listen to Tagden.
And you're the only one still feeling guilty about this?
I don't know. Tagden and Finley seem fine, but I've felt bone-crushing guilt ever since it happened. Wouldn't you be wondering if you could have done something more than just beg for mercy? Finley lost his tongue, Tagden his hand, and me. Now I'm an old hobbler missing a leg. We all have wounds to remind us of what happened until the day we die. And that's why we decided to never tell a soul. Please, take his remains away from here. Maybe say a good word about me to his ghost. My years of guilt must surely be enough penance.
Keep the skull. You deserve punishment for your betrayal. I could check if Kendall is finally free after I could check? Do I check just with my inventory? Do I still have his skull? Oh, it's probably in quest items. Wait, how do I check? I could check if Kendall's finally free after I gave his remains to Berg. Oh, I probably have to go back there, would be my guess. Yeah, okay, I need to go back. Is this a shop? No, I can't even go in there. Excuse me. Ooh, another bleeder rogue. Alright, I'll take that. Take the honey. Honey, but no freaking garlic. Cider. The problem is, I don't even know what garlic... I mean, okay, I know what garlic looks like, but, like, in-game, I don't know what garlic looks like. And I can't imagine that the tavern owner sells garlic. That would just be weird. Spoke with Berg. He told me about Kendall.
Berg told you about Kendall. Why the hell did he do that?
He's being haunted by Kendall's restless ghost.
What? By Kendall's what? You're telling me a ghost comes to him at night, knocking about and not letting him sleep? Shit! I sure wasn't expecting that. Hell, if you ask me, that entire thing was done and dusted long ago.
Berg mentioned that you set Kendall up.
Listen, kid, you better stop talking out of your ass. You weren't there. And I was. And Berg Finley, too. I saved our lives.
Looks like you weren't happy about Kendall becoming your commander.
Wasn't about that, but about who deserved that promotion. I never thought it should have been me, mind you. Kendall was an arse licker. If the captain told him to shit himself, he'd have done it, standing to attention. Berg deserved the promotion. He was strong as a horse, best at fighting, and first of us to come to the horns. The rest came a bit later, though we were all still kids. Anyway, Finley thought the same.
But not for Berg. Can you tell me anything more about what happened back then?
Shit happened. That's all. Kendall got promoted to Lance Corporal. He was strutting about like a fancy lady in a new petticoat. One day, he said, "We've got a job to do. All 4 of us." We were ambushed. Berg cracked. Same with Finley. Me, I had to act. That's it. That's the story.
Looks like all of you were guilty of something. Same could happen to you.
The same. I don't go anywhere near that shrine. It better leave me alone. I don't know why Berg went there. He fessed up when we had a bit too much to drink. Now I think about it, that was when all this shit started happening. Berg brought it on himself. You don't go bothering the dead. You'll only draw evil to you. That bandit ambush, that was a plan they came up with to get rid of me and Finley. Kendall was paranoid. I knew that. Me and Finley, we heard them whispering together. That's why I goaded those thugs to kill the traitorous wimp. We never told Berg that we knew, because what was the point? The 3 of us took a serious beating, and Kendall was done for. He was the one who messed with Berg's head. That's it. It was just too bad that Berg was so guilt-stricken from it all. He never got the promotion he deserved. Now get out of my sight. I've had enough of this bullshit.
Tagged in a different version of the story, it seemed Kendall didn't tell the whole truth.
Keep moving.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that he wasn't going to sell that. You got like a back... Nah, I can't get back there. Well... There's got to be garlic somewhere in this world. Problem is, I think I'm probably just going to have to find it in, like, an outpost or something. Garlic! Yes! We found it! Yes! Oh my god, we found the freaking garlic, man. Holy Christ, that was the hardest thing I think I've done in this whole game. Hey Jake, how's it going? How's it going? Oh Lord. Alright, let's put that wood away. It's probably pretty heavy. Yeah, let's put all this away. All that can go away. This can go away. Oh, shoot. Was it an onion or was it a potato? Okay, well, we have... Oh, wait, and I just put away venison. Okay, so we have all that. Let's put all this away. We're gonna grab our potato. No. It was venison, right? Venison's what I need to grab. There we go. Alrighty. Taking a little reprieve from the road before heading back out next week. Nice. So clearly everything went okay so far. That's good to hear. Do we have anything else we can sell? Oh, yeah, we can sell all these. Fire arrow. Oh, shoot. I'm buying... Oh, my God. These menus, man. These menus. They're getting to me. Yeah, we can sell all of these. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't really understand that. All right. Finally, let's head back out, and we'll do a little ritual. And with my luck, there's going to be some big baddie that I have to fight. Took us like half an hour just to find some freaking garlic just to do this ritual. If I start walking around and there's garlic up here, ooh, I'm gonna be grumpy. That would be kind of weird, though, I think. Alrighty. Perform the ritual. I know, right? I could have literally...
They did it. Somebody
Ooh,
did
ghosty
it.
boys. There's a lot of ghosts out here.
See, someone's here.
Damned morons!
Nobody could be stupid enough to actually fall for this.
And yet...
Hey, you there. We can't exactly see you because, you know, we're dead. But we can sense that you're here, so...
Interesting that these ghosts can't see us.
You've made it to the sacred site of
We've seen other ghosts and they've been able to see us.
I can't believe this shit. They actually fell for it. I can't
Oh,
believe
excuse me.
I know, right? Traveler, the knowledge you seek, the knowledge we druids decided to share with you...
Oh,
is
crap,
that
they're druids.
You can kiss our dead magical asses and get the hell back to wherever you came from.
Oh, shoot, I meant to left Finley back at the stash.
Now scram.
What is this?
Oh yeah, I forgot. They always need answers, don't they?
Right.
What did you expect? A monster fight? Some grand artifact to carry you back home?
Kinda, yeah. Enjoying it more than Oblivion? At this point, yeah. So, at this point... I mean, it says my playtime is 24 hours. I don't think that's correct. I mean, I know I played 4 hours on my first kind of like review playthrough, and I've left it open for a bit, so I would say I've probably played for, I don't know, 12-ish hours so far. Yeah, I think my initial impressions of the game are quite different, I think, than what I've experienced so far in moving, like, progressing forward past the first 4 hours. I would say a lot of my qualms with the game that I experienced in the first 4 hours have mostly been what's the word I'm looking for? They've mostly ironed themselves out, basically. There's still some jank, just like you would expect to see. I've mentioned a couple times, I don't know what the deal is. These first-person RPGs always have, like, the same issues, right? You have, like, enemies that will just disappear, or they'll sink into the ground, or you have the enemies that, like, twitch on the ground when they ragdoll. There are just a lot of weird glitches. So, like, for example, one of the bosses that I fought, I was talking about, like, it was weird that she didn't give me any kind of rewards, and then I went back and watched the footage, and she literally, like, sank into the ground, so I couldn't access her, which was kind of a bummer. So there's some problems like that aren't great. I don't understand, because from my understanding, I mean, although Oblivion still has it, and it's in Unreal Engine 5, like, when they were in Creator, I figured that was the issue. But I don't know. For some reason, these games have the same issues that, like, other open world RPGs don't have. So I don't understand what the correlation is there between them. But when it comes to combat, I'm actually much more into this combat than I was before. A big issue that I had in my first 4 hours, my first, like, review playthrough, was that it isn't built in Unreal 5. Oh, that could be. Okay, yeah, I didn't understand that. I guess I thought it got rebuilt in Unreal 5, but I guess that would be too hard. So the big issue that I had with combat the first time I played was I was playing Sword and Board, right? So I was playing Sword and Shield. And the block... So you can block in this game fine, and it reduces the damage, but I was trying to make sense of the parry system. And the parry window is so tight in this game that until you start putting points into the parry tree... I don't know. For me, at least, it just wasn't a good gameplay style, so the combat didn't feel great when I did that. However, for this second playthrough, I've started going just one-handed magic, and it feels so much better. I'm just relying on dodge more than I am block, and dodging is just so much more consistent. You do kind of have to pick the right direction to dodge, you know, because some enemies' weapons are just going to be longer, and so if you dodge directly backwards, they can still hit you. So you kind of have to know, like, what enemy is going to attack, whether they're, like, stabbing with a spear or slicing with a claymore or something like that. But combat feels a lot better. Magic is really cool. The fact that you have, like, basically two spells in each spell. So there's a single click and then a hold, and each spell has, like, a different way it activates is really good. I like the feeling of that. The exploration is pretty much the same, I would say. Overall, like, the core gameplay loop definitely feels like an Elder Scrolls game. It's definitely darker. We have had some really dark storylines of, physicians testing, like, nasty concoctions on themselves. We found a book that was literally, like, torture porn. That was a little disturbing. What else have we found? Just a lot of kind of disturbing stuff. So it's definitely a darker take on the genre, which is still cool. The level up system is way better in this than Oblivion. Oh my god. It's closer to Skyrim, but I prefer Skyrim's leveling system to Oblivion. I really don't like Oblivion's leveling system. So I think in general, like, if I could go back in time and not have played either, and, like, if I had the decision to pick one or the other, I think I'm going this direction above Oblivion Remastered. And I mean, you know, I'm only, let's say somewhere between 12 and 15 hours into gameplay, and I'm still only, like, I've only explored half of the first map. Probably a little bit more than half at this point. But there's 2 other maps that I still haven't been to, so it seems like it's a pretty long game. You'll get your time out of it. And I will say also, one thing that I've mentioned here is that the gear system is a lot... I like it a lot better than Elder Scrolls. So the problem that I have with Elder Scrolls that I didn't really have until I tried this is that when you're going through your caves, right? You're going through your dungeons, you're fighting bosses, and you're picking up new swords and whatever. Or spear, two-handed weapons, whatever, weapon type you're using. And it's like, okay, I'm using an iron one-handed sword. You go through the dungeon, it's like, cool, I found a steel two-handed sword. It's stronger, I'm going to do more damage. Then you go through another high-level dungeon, it's like, cool, I found a dwarven two-handed sword. I can do more damage. And then it's like, all right, now I found a glass two-handed sword. I can do still more damage, but that's kind of it. Sure, you can enchant your weapons, but in this game, like, sure, there is that same thing where you can get just like a blank version of a claymore, but all of like the rare weapons all have some unique mechanic to them. So it's not like, oh, here's a fire sword, here's a stronger fire sword, here's an even stronger than that fire sword. It's like, oh, here's a sword that when you kill enemies, you get gold for it. Here's a sword that it does more damage after you dash. Here's a spear that when you're under 50% maximum mana, it does double damage. So, like, there's stuff that you can pick up that changes the way that combat plays for you, and I like that a lot more than just, here's a stronger weapon, because you kind of have to adapt on the fly to, like, what you want your build to be. And that's really fun. I like that in terms of the build potential. But yeah, no, so far I would say I'm having a lot more fun in general, but to be fair, I've also played at this point probably double what I put into Oblivion Remastered. So it's kind of hard to say, right? Because like at the point where I had only played 4 hours this, I was kind of on the fence that I preferred Oblivion Remastered. Now that I've played more of Tainted Grail, I'm a bit more on Tainted Grail side, so like it could kind of go back and forth. But I would say in general, you know, like some of the stuff that Oblivion's problems are, like the infinite aggro range, was like really a pain, and it just really lowered the quality of the gameplay. So like that was the thing that I didn't really like. So yeah. That too. Yeah, I haven't had this game crash. I don't think I've had this game crash on me at all. Like I said, the only issues that I've had are like enemies disappearing, some weird AI. Like this little guy Finley here, our pet, gets stuck on rocks sometimes. So there's still like those type of things. But yeah, no, stability issues. I had one weird thing happen yesterday where I was getting a lot of like jittery motion, but my frame rate was fine. I was sitting around like 80 or 90 frames a second. I think, well, there's two possible things. I think I fixed it. There's two possible things it could be. I think what the issue was that I had the, what was it? I had the frame rate cap. For some reason, when you set this to VSync, you can still set the frame rate cap. So I had the frame rate cap set to 60, but VSync on, and my monitor is a 120 hertz monitor. So I think it was kind of struggling. It was like, do I go up to 120 or do I go down to the 60? And I think it was doing one of those things in the middle. For a while, I thought it could have been like if you have too much stuff in your inventory, kind of like Diablo 4 had this issue where if you were in town, it was like rendering everybody's inventory at the same time, and it really slugged it down in town. I thought it could be that, but I haven't had the issue since I swapped settings, so I think it's more along that line.
No monsters here. At least none you can fight.
Treasure would have been nice.
You people and your treasures.
You remembered to take something with you?
Not really.
Here.
Oh, I will say too,
Here's your artifact.
so for example, something that I like a little bit better in Oblivion, I do like the magic system a little bit better. Actually, let me finish with these guys talking. I do like the magic system of Oblivion a little bit more. Both the hot swapping ability, so the fact that, like, for example, if I wanted to play sword and shield and be a magic user, I can't really do that. I would have to, like, put on my sword and shield, attack, then when I want to use magic, I'd, like, swap back, and then swap back to sword and shield. Like, that kind of thing, I'm not a huge fan of. So I would prefer it if, like, if I want to use a two-handed, I use a two-handed, and then, like, in Oblivion, I can equip whatever spell I want. I can hot swap to it and have a dedicated spellcasting ability. I prefer that a lot more. Also, you can have access to 8 spells versus in this, technically, you can have access to 8 spells because you have 4 loadout slots. But if you have 8 spells, you can't have any melee weapons or any ranged weapons, right? So I'm not like that. I'm a little bit off about. So I do prefer that. I also prefer, and I can't really say anything too much about this because we're not super far into the game yet, but in terms of magic itself, there doesn't seem to be a lot of miscellaneous magic. So basically all the magic we have is either damaging spells or summons. There's not a lot of utility. I haven't found any like buffing spells, any shielding spell, like warding spells. Haven't found any like controlling spells, anything like that, debuffing spells on opponents. It's all just damage or summoning. So it's like maybe so there are enemies that have like resistances or immunities, so there is reason to have like a fire spell and a lightning spell equipped. But I was hoping for this build that we could have like a little bit of control magic, and you know, unfortunately I just haven't found anything like that. So it's possible that it could come in later in the game. I just haven't found anything yet. But I am finding a lot of duplicate spells. Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that. Nothing to show, you know, like even simple spells like show me the way to my destination, unlock this spell, so that way I don't have to like, if I don't want, not that I'm role playing by any means, but you know, if I don't want to actually lockpick, you know, using magic to lockpick, stuff like that. I haven't noticed, there's nothing like that in here. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I kind of wish that was in here. You know, but that all being said, oh yeah, I gotta go way up here. Let's go ahead and mark that. That all being said, though, you know, you do kind of have to take into consideration that it's the studio's first game. They went for a big, a pretty big project for their first game, and for how consistent it is, you know, for what it is, they did all right. They did all right. They did a really good job making a fun game. You know, there's some other stuff that, like, you can tell that there were some shortcuts made. So, for example, when you go to drop pieces of armor, right? In Oblivion, if you drop a piece of armor, like whatever pants you drop, let's go with shirt. We don't need to be dropping our pants. You know, that shirt, like the actual model of the shirt, is going to drop on the ground. In this case, it just drops a white bag, because you can just multiply that as many times. You don't have to create models for all of those things. So there's stuff like that. There are certain NPCs that I've talked to where their entire body is still, like if they're sitting down, their entire body is still and just their mouth moves. So you can definitely tell that there's like areas where shortcuts were made, and likely that's, you know, probably due to the fact that, you know, again, I don't know how big the team was, but, you know, it's a first time as far as, well, I don't know exactly how the studio works, because Awakened Realms has a few games that they've made before, and Questline is like a smaller part. I think it's like an internal part of the team. So people who are at Awakened Realms are part of this development team. Again, I don't know exactly how like that structure system works, but that's what I read about them. But the other games, I've actually played quite a few of their other games, which I didn't realize. They have like a deck building game that's in the Tainted Grail universe. They did oh shoot, it's like Bermuda something. It was like a closed world kind of Metroidvania bullet heaven game that I think I played during one of the next fests. Ooh, Shrine of the Bear. This is the first different shrine that we've seen in a while. Frick, I need bear claws. God dang it. Well, I have bear claws, just not on me. The deck building game pivoted into this. I bought the deck builder back in the day and got this for free when they pivoted the team. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, because when I was looking up the, I was trying to look up Questline But when you go to the Steam page, it just brings you to Awakened Realms. So Questline doesn't have like a page for themselves. And I was like, oh, I've seen this deck builder before. It was one that I was going to cover back when I was doing a bunch of roguelite stuff. Just never really got around to it. But it's kind of funny how things like that pan out. God, these things are freaky as all hell. I don't like this. This kind of reminds me of, oh, what is it? Are they is it the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who? Those things are terrifying. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Oh, fast travel point. Oh, we got a big chungus up here. Ow! Yeah, gotta be careful not to use all my stamina. Nice. Ones we have to stare at? Yeah, exactly those. Those things are freaky. Plus that music, I don't know what the song is, but you know that song that gets used a lot in shorts? Unfortunately, I can't like sing because I don't even know the words. To me, it reminds me of like Rob Zombie. I don't know why I know it's not Rob Zombie. No, yeah, Rob Zombie. For a second, I was thinking Rob Thomas. I was like, that's not even close. Okay, let's get our bear claws. But it's used whenever there's like it's not supposed to be like horror music, but something kind of disturbing. But I don't remember what the track is called. It's one of those that gets used all the time, though. Wolf's Fang, Claw. Wow, I literally have 3 bear claws. Okay. That's convenient. That was much easier than finding garlic. Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure it's not Rob Zombie. It's just kind of like the voice. I picture the voice coming out of somebody who looks like Rob Zombie. Okay. Let's get that physical damage. That's going to be nice for us. No item out of that one. The Druidic Shrines usually give some items. Can I Skyrim my way up this mountain? Oh, it won't let me jump. I need to jump right here. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. Get up there. Oh, God dang it. All right, we'll go around.